As Motu Origins Wave 11 is hitting collectors' hot little hands, we have a leaked Rulers of the Sun figure, so we are diving into what we think could make up the Motu Origins Wave 12 assortment. And before we dive into the episode, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you can be alerted to the latest reviews, news, and episodes when they drop. Hey everyone, welcome back to Toy Habits. I'm Michael, and with me is my collector in crime, Larry. Now, this week, thanks to Yotango El Poder, we have leaked images of Hypno, and there's also speculation that Snake Armor Skeletor and Hypno will be part of the Wave 12 assortment of Motu Origins figures.
Yeah, it was cool seeing Hypno kind of leaked, I guess. And then, it's good to kind of get, further confirmation of Snake Armor Skeletor and that he may be coming, in a wave soon. And then kind of just seeing where he's going to fit in is kind of the speculative part.
Yeah, I think it's definitely possible because there's the pre-order for him, and we also have all of these official images. So yeah, it's definitely likely.
Oh yeah. I think I guess given the fact that he was put up for pre-order was pretty good confirmation already. But some of those things you never know. Like they take pre-orders and all of a sudden he's 2 waves out or 9 months away or something. So
or he just disappears.
Yeah, just take it down and 2 years later.
Right. All right. So before we kick off our Wave 12 Smackdown, where we share our thoughts on the Wave 12 assortment, let's check out the leaked images of Hypno. And this was an unproduced figure in the Rulers of the Sun line, so it's actually cool to see him produced in Motu Origins.
It is, and I think he looks like a cool figure. I don't know any of his backstory. My only thing about him is his wand or whatever the accessory is. It just always looks like one of those like huge all day suckers to me, and I can't unsee it. It's like every time I see him, that's what I see and kind of relate him to. But yeah, he looks cool. I like the helmet a lot.
Yeah.
The helmet really makes me think of like the cloud car, the Bespin cloud car pilots from Star Wars. It's just but I don't. Yeah, I like just I don't know if it's an eagle or a falcon.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he looks like a really cool figure. I like the orange, and I think he's going to stand out on the shelf pretty well.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I'm definitely getting those lollipop feels from him, and I have that Lollipop Guild song playing in my head from The Wizard of Oz all the time when I see this figure. But yeah, they definitely give me some Star Wars vibes on this one. I was gonna say like a Death Star gunner or Death Star trooper kind of feel too.
Yeah, definitely. It's got that same kind of like helmet shape. So.
Yeah. He's cool. No, the orange, is definitely gonna pop. So yeah, all those colors look great together. And yeah, I think this one doesn't have a backstory because he was unproduced. So it'd be interesting to see kind of how they weave him into the line here.
Yeah, they seem to be kind of doing an actual like backstory kind of based around these Rulers of the Sun characters. Sometimes just to help them, get kind of the story out for each of the figures or characters. And for somebody like Hypno that didn't really necessarily have a backstory before, it'll be cool to see what they come up with. One thing I'm wondering is I guess that wand piece. Do you think that's going to spin? I mean, it looks like it will, right?
I think so. I mean, if his name is Hypno, I definitely think that'll be a spinning feature, which would be cool.
Yeah, it means something different than what we've had before, so that's cool.
Kind of like a fidget spinner for Motu.
yeah, there you go.
All right, also rumored to be part of Wave 12 is Snake Armor Skeletor, and I think this is probably going to be a deluxe figure based on what we've seen, from his armor pack out and things like that.
He could be a regular figure, but I would say deluxe makes more sense just because like that shield looks like it's pretty beefy.
Yeah.
And the armor's bigger and stuff, so he feels probably more like a deluxe figure. So yeah, I think that's a good fit for him, and it's cool to see him getting a release. I love the kind of the sculpt and just the look of the figure overall.
Yeah, I do too. And I think Hypno will probably be carded on the Rise of Snake Men card art. And it kind of makes sense because I think eagles like to eat snakes, right? Or falcons.
Yeah, I think so. So that's a good fit. It'd be interesting to see too whether that ends up being like a vac metal accessory, or if they come up with some other kind of just kind of a regular silver kind of a chrome paint for it, you know?
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool. I'd
Yeah.
like that. All right, so let's dive into our SmackDown Wave 12 edition. And how this will work is we both made lists of figures we think will make it into Wave 12. And we're assuming Hypno will be a standard release and Snake Armor Skeletor will be a deluxe figure release. So let's kick things off with Larry's list. And you have 3 slots to fill. So you're taking up 1 slot with Snake Face.
Yeah, I think he's been leaked on the card art before. I think he'd be a cool figure to see released. He goes along with the Snake Man theme, of course.
Yep.
So I think that's he feels like he could be a good fit for this spot, but you never know. And then we just have to wait and see how they handle his snakes and action feature and all that kind of stuff. But
yeah, I really hope they do something like Mantenna, because they did kind of add in his eyeball action feature to his head. So it's definitely possible that they could retain that feature and could just kind of make a little lever that's coming off the back of his head. But maybe they'll handle it like classics where you just kind of piece in all those little snake parts.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I don't know. I mean, I think you get all those little pieces, and then you've got all the safety warning stuff that comes
right.
That,
don't eat them. I know it's some of our viewers are calling it Darwinism if people start, if little kids start eating these things. But any little kid can put anything in their mouth, and so they don't really know.
Yeah, it can be scary, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'd rather see. I think if they could keep the swappability and still have the the action features, at least whether maybe they have the snake pieces that can pop into the shoulders and then just the eyes and the mouth pop out from like the same kind of lever action that you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a cool way to do it. But I don't know. I'm really good with either way on
it. Cool. All right. Well, next up on your list is Tongue Lasher, and we saw him hiding in plain sight in the Eternio Dio at SDCC 2022. So another highly likely figure.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I kind of see them, kind of being a little snake heavy with these waves, just to try to get as many of these guys out as they can. So I think Tongue Lasher feels like a good fit. And the fact that he was in that display makes me feel like he's probably coming sooner rather than later, but you never know. But I think obviously he'd be a cool figure once again. Super crazy color scheme. It would really stand out on the shelf because there aren't any other pink figures that I'm unless I'm forgetting somebody. But yeah, I think he'll look awesome on the shelf with the other snake. The other snake man.
Yeah, I love his feet and his hands. For his sculpt, and definitely another wild card on the action feature, whether they'll have that dial in the back or maybe they'll handle it like Cobra Khan where they you maybe place his tongue in his mouth or something, which I think would kind of look weird, but that's just me.
I agree. I can see them doing if nothing else, maybe doing a just a sculpted in dial that's just part of his sculpt, just to keep that same look. I don't know that they're going to actually incorporate it and make it an actual action feature, but we'll see.
Yeah, we definitely shall see. Yeah, this one is cool, and we didn't really get to see any other kind of angled shots for kind of how they're going to do his tongue feature. So definitely a wild card on that one.
Yeah, I would say so.
All right, and rounding out your standard release figures is Snake Tila, and she came from the 2000 X line, and this one was also leaked on Amazon, so could definitely be a possibility too.
Yeah, I really we've talked about this a couple times recently. She was featured on one of the card backs. I can't remember which one, but I think she's really a really cool kind of variant figure.
Yeah.
And I really hope that we could see her because 2000X, the 2000X release was awesome, and so I think an Origins release would be really cool too.
Oh yeah, she would be awesome. Yeah, she was featured on the King Hiss card art. So right. I think in the lore from the 2000X cartoon, he turned her into Snake Tila. So that's very apropos for his card.
Yeah, and I think it makes it kind of timely. If you end up with King Hiss coming out, and then in the next couple months after that, you get the Snake Tila release. You can kind of if you think about if kids are playing with these, they get to kind of act out those the things that are seen in the mini comics or on the card back. So I think that's a cool aspect of it.
Yeah, kids. What are you talking about? Adults, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's true. So it's funny because to this point, Graham has played with the Origins figures a lot, but Lucy, she's almost 3,
Uh-huh.
and she has never really. She's come in and looked at them, but aside from that, she's never played with them. But yesterday she came in and she wanted the purple kitty cat down.
Oh,
So I got Panther and Skeletor down, and she played with them. And of course they were friends, and
yeah.
and then we had to get the green kitty cat down too. So we
Oh,
got
cute.
Battle Cat and He-Man down, and she played with them. So that was cool. So we're getting her started early. Hopefully she'll get into these and she'll sit there and play with Graham too. So
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be neat to get her into the line early, and maybe they'll start releasing some pop figures or something. Something
yeah,
else you can play with.
she really had fun with the cats. So I think that was cool. She kept taking the armor off and then having me put it right back on. But
Yeah, of course. All right, and moving on to your deluxe figures, and as a reminder, we think Snake Armor Skeletor could be in this wave, so you chose the squeeze figure for the deluxe pack out.
yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I think he could very well be a standard release. He was for the vintage line,
Yeah.
so I think he could be in there as a regular figure. But I think if they do any kind of like bendy arm kind of thing where it's got like posability to those arms, I think that could be a deluxe kind of thing where maybe they'd be a little higher price point, bigger window packaging kind of
Hmm.
thing. So I think he'd be a good fit for the deluxe, but I don't know. It's hard to say. Either way, I think he's a really cool figure, and I'd love to get him for Origins.
Oh, I would too, and I think maybe they could make maybe a standard arm pack out too, so that would make him, more of a deluxe figure, so you can have like swappable bendy arms and maybe swappable standard arms too.
Man, that'd be awesome. I think that would be the best because I like he is so cool with those bendy arms, but I think if you got to see him just as a regular figure with like just the standard
Hmm.
arms and his regular hands, I think that would be cool. Just because like the hands are so like big and
Yeah.
kind of like thick looking. So I think that would look cool just to see how he would come out, and I think that would lend itself to that deluxe figure more.
Oh, it totally would, and maybe they can make a removable crop top armor for him too.
Oh, definitely.
Gotta have that one. All right, so here is Larry's assortment, and I think it looks great adding Snake Tila, Snake Face, and Tongue Lasher and Squeeze into the mix. I mean, this looks like a really cool assortment.
It is a cool assortment. It's very colorful, but it's really heavy on the evil side.
Yes.
If you think about it, we've really only got Hypno to fight off everybody,
Yeah.
right? I mean, so I don't know, we'll see. And it of course is very snake heavy too.
Yeah.
But I think that's fitting for you've got the Rise of the Snake Men cards, so it makes sense to kind of get some of these Snake Men army out there.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely does. And yeah, I could see a snake heavy wave for at least the next couple waves, just trying to get all the Snake Man characters out, plus, some newer ones that they're thinking of too.
It's funny because like if we get a wave like this, the Snake Men are going to outnumber the Horde, right?
Yeah.
Fairly quickly.
Yeah. So,
You,
maybe Mattel should tune into our last episode with our Horde speculation and start making those too, because I think it'd be neat to have the Horde and the Snake Men coming out in mixed wave like this too.
oh, I do too. I think that'd be cool. I wish that they would have come up with some kind of special packaging for the Horde.
Yeah.
I think that the sticker is cool, but I think if they had something Horde related, kind of like what they did for the Snake Men, that would have been great.
Oh, that would have been.
But they do have enough. I feel like they have enough releases. They could come out with an additional card back style to push out there for some of those other releases like Shadow Weaver
Mhm.
and maybe go with a similar theme for like Modulok and Mantena or
Oh,
Mantena, Modulok and who's the other
Multibot.
Multibot,
Yes.
yeah. So if they could kind of come up with something there and do that kind of same packaging style for those two. So
Oh, that'd be awesome.
yep.
That'd be really neat. Yeah, I totally dig that. All right, so it is my turn, and to weigh in. I have 3 open slots for the standard release figures and also 1 deluxe like Larry. And so, with these standard release figures, I think, my first pick for this one of these slots is actually Spikor, and he's been teased for a very long time now, and he was part of the Amazon leak. So I definitely think this could be a possibility. And so aside from hearing about Mossman and Cyclone, Spikor is actually another one that comes up in the comments quite a bit. And this concept comes from the one and only Stronnox Customs, who did a great job.
Oh yeah, as always, we've featured a lot of his work in Motu and GI Joe videos,
Yeah.
so always great stuff.
Yeah, I would totally love to see a Spikor figure, and it's going to be a toss up whether they have a snap on trident for him, or because I think in the vintage one he had a trident that slid out. So I think they're kind of doing away with some of those kind of little mini action features that they're building in. So I could probably see them just doing like a snap on trident, kind of like they did with classics.
Yeah, I do too. I don't know. I worry about like something like that. It almost feels like it'd be too bulky for that, but we'll see.
Oh yeah, because you have to have that little plug. Has to be a decent size, and maybe make the figure look a little weird, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, you have to see how it plays out. They've come up with some good solutions for these things though, so I think I'll trust whatever they come up with. But
yeah, I'm actually surprised that it's taken them this long to release a Spikor. So, he was also part of the Amazon leaks, and so we'll see when he comes down the line. So maybe sooner rather than later.
yeah, and you wonder if the Masterverse release played into it at all, as far as maybe we would have seen him sooner, but they went ahead and did the Masterverse release, and didn't want him kind of right out there at the same time. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the difference would be, but maybe try to stay away from the kind of duplicate releases across the different lines at the same time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I really like that Spikor Masterverse figure, so I'm glad that they put that one out. So, all right, Next up on my list is Serpent Claw Man at Arms, which came out in the 2000X line, also part of the Amazon leaks, and I feel like the Snake Armor He-Man needs another heroic warrior to join him, and I feel like this particular Man at Arms would be so different looking that he would kind of make it go along with that Snake Armor He-Man figure. They kind of have a similar style.
Yeah, I agree. I think the 2000X figure was cool, and it'd be cool to see how this translates over to Origins. Because I kind of like the 2000X figures, but like posability and things were so limited.
Yeah.
You really, especially if they got any kind of like bigger accessories, they'd tip over and stuff really easily. And the head sculpts were a little bit too small for the bodies sometimes.
Yeah.
So I think he'd be a really cool one to see in Origins, just to kind of see how that kind of scales down to Origins size. And I think it would look great.
Yeah, I would love to see his accessories too, like that Serpent Claw would be neat to see in Origin style.
Yeah, definitely. You've got kind of that green grabber hand, and it's just a really cool accessory. I think he'd be a fun release.
Yeah, plus the oversized armor too would be neat.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, he would definitely be cool to add to the line. And rounding out my standard release figures is the Snake Trooper, and I think this figure could easily be brought to Origins, and I think it would make a great army builder too.
Yeah, and it's so funny going through these because it's like, I could totally see this being a regular release, but I could also see it being a 2-pack, and so it's like, it's really tough to know how it's going to kind of play out. If you could see the roadmap that they have as far as what figures they want to try to get out in what time frame, then you could, but it's more fun this way, I guess, because we get to kind of play around with it and talk about all the different possibilities. And I think this would be a cool release. They've already got most of the parts, so it should be a pretty easy one for them to get out there.
Oh, totally, yeah. Just get the Horde Trooper mold back and throw on a cool looking snake head figure, and you're good to go. But yeah, I mean, I could definitely see this being a 2-pack, or maybe it's a Mattel Creations release or something like that.
Yeah, one thing I'll say about this figure is that I've always thought that that kind of bronzish orange color doesn't necessarily fit with the Snake Men somehow. I almost think that should be like a yellow or a brighter orange or something. I don't know. It kind of feels it always has felt very horde like to me,
Yeah.
like almost like eh, I don't know, like the Snake Men are in horde armor, and I guess I would want something that feels more like it's snake themed instead of a mix, but maybe that's the idea of it. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I like the colors that you're talking about because I think they would pop a lot. And I think
Yeah.
given that they're pretty apt to change some of the color palette on the figures, either making some colors darker or brighter, I could totally see that. And I think a yellow would actually pop really nicely.
Yeah, I think yellow would look really cool, especially with that kind of that bright green
Yeah.
snake head. And yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be a really fun release, and be great to have more kind of these, like Snake Army. So
Yeah, totally. All right, next up is my deluxe pick, and I have one slot to fill, and I am giving this one to Extendar. And this was the first time that we've seen him teased on card art, and he was such a unique figure. I could totally see him as a deluxe figure because I think they're going to give him the Motu Classics treatment where they're going to just make snap-on parts for him. So I could totally see him coming in that wider packaging with all of those pieces and parts on display.
yeah, I think that'd be cool. I mean, it's a good fit for deluxe if they're going to do that because of all the extra accessories and pieces. So I think that'd be cool. And I hope they do it right because with that super high face guard, yeah, you end up not really being able to see kind of his head much. So I
Right.
think if they do it right, to be able to see kind of his head pop up and see his face and stuff, because the face is really cool.
Yeah.
Um, so I think for my display anyways, I'd want to have that head raised and stuff. So I hope they do this one right.
Yeah, I hope so too. That like face or that whatever that neck guard is or that face shield kind of gives me that home improvement vibes from that show. Was it like Wilson was that character who was always behind
Yeah,
the fence?
over fence. Yeah, yeah, that's I hadn't thought about it. Now probably won't unsee it, but
Yeah, there you go. Finally. I
yeah,
got
yeah,
you.
you got me. It's 10 to
Yeah.
1.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, his shield was kind of cool too because it kind of snapped apart and unfolded, and I liked his like
The
staff that he had
lance.
too, or his
Yeah.
javelin or whatever that is.
Yeah, it looks like a lance, like
Yeah,
if he's like a jouster.
that'd be cool. Yeah, maybe they can somebody else to ride Stridor, right?
Yeah. Or let's get Night Stalker out there.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. I mean, they have to have that one produced already, and they're probably holding it back too for some reason.
Yeah, it's just a color scheme switch up,
Yeah,
right? I mean, it's
exactly.
easy.
Yeah,
Give him some. He's got to have glowing red eyes, though. We got to get that in there.
that would be amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so here is a recap for my selections for Wave 12, adding Serpent Claw, Man at Arms, Spikor, and the Snake Trooper, as well as Extendar.
And I have to say, I feel like yours is probably more likely. So I'm going to say a couple things.
Okay.
I feel like yours is more likely because it's a better balanced wave. You've got a couple well, 3 heroes, 3 villains. You've got a couple of half of it's kind of snake themed. You've got a Skeletor baddie in there. You've got a Rulers of the Sun figure. You've got a standard hero. It's a really good mix. So I like it for that part.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I also could just see Snake Armor Skeletor, Serpent Claw Man at Arms, Snake Tila, and Hypno being just the standard wave
Yeah,
because that
that's true.
was Amazon leaked, and maybe that's just the standard wave and we're completely off.
It's all right. That's why we do this stuff. So.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what makes it fun.
Yeah, exactly. You did have some really cool ideas for some wild card figures we could see coming down the line. So you were talking about Snake Mechanic and Snake Man at Arms too.
Yeah, I think they could do some cool stuff here. They've had Snake Man at Arms in the classics line. He's a super simple repaint. It's an easy way to kind of just go back and reuse that sculpt. It makes him kind of snake themed like Snake Tila. And I'd love to see Snake Mechanic. I think
Yeah.
he'd be cool because you can just resculpt that piece,
Hmm.
and then give him a snake face. And I think that's a really cool kind of way to do him. And there's also the 2000X Mechanic, the snake, whatever. There was some kind of serpent something Mechanic figure from 2000X that they could release in here as well. So
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of different things they could do this kind of to stick along with that snake theme, but still maybe get some new figures out there and different things. So
Yeah, we need to get you that Mechanic with the green goggles, right?
I think that's my only problem with this being a snake themed mechanic is that uh I still want that standard mechanic,
Yeah.
just regular carded version. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter a whole lot, but I would like to see a standard release of him, just because I think it's cool to see him on the card, and if it's the green goggles version, I think that's cool. But yeah, I just think there's a lot of different things that they could do here. You could maybe do this figure and give him some green snake kind of elements, maybe torn sleeves or something with that green, like that snake skin, like Snake Tila has. You could do that stuff peeking through and different
Oh, that'd
things.
be
So a lot
cool.
of different things they could do.
Oh, totally. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
All right. And here is our assortment of figures we would like to see in Wave 12. And I think any way you cut it, like both of these lineups would be stellar.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would be happy with either of these. I'd be happy with a mix of them. I think that there's a lot of cool stuff yet to be released, and I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of fun stuff to look forward to. So I'm excited for the future.
Oh, me too. And what we've done is we've created a poll like we did last time. We did a SmackDown, and just as a reminder, you cream me in the last poll, so it'd be interesting to see, you know, who thinks my assortment is good and will come out, or versus your assortment. So yeah, I mean, this is a fun thing to do.
Yeah, yeah, these are always fun. It's all just some of it's just dependent on which characters you like better
Yeah.
sometimes. So you got
Yes,
Spike
and
in yours, so it's I think the scales are tipped in your favor anyways.
okay, I mean, yeah, if you want to plant that seed with everybody, that I'm
He's
good with that.
Yeah, he's got Spike over on his side, so I mean.
Okay. Right. All right. So head over to our community section and take a vote and weigh in if you think Larry's of the list will make it or mine. And we'd also love to know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you have other figures on your list that you think would make it into Wave 12? Let us know. I'm Michael,
And I'm Larry.
and thanks for tuning into Toy Habits.